All right, we're going to talk about associative and commutative properties. And we haven't really looked at properties yet, but basically they help us determine if two expressions are equivalent. So that's without us having to try to solve it, we can use properties to figure out if two expressions are saying the same thing. The first property is called the associative property. And for me, the easiest way to remember this one is the word associates. You may have heard that word before. Basically, associates are groups. So all of the sixth grade math teachers at Draper are associates. We're a group of teachers that work together. So basically what that means is the groups can change. So parentheses or brackets can change, but the order of the terms cannot. So I can change the parentheses around, but I cannot change the order of my numbers. And that only works with addition and multiplication. So I can't use the associative property if I have subtraction or division. The examples are pretty simple. So right here, this first one, I have 4 plus 3 plus 7, and the 3 plus 7 is in parentheses. Well, if I look at what the associative property is, I can change the groups around, but I can't change the order. So an equivalent expression to this would just be 4 plus 3 plus 7. I have the same numbers in the exact same order, but my groups have changed. And if we solved these, we would get the same answer. 3 plus 7 is 10, and 4 plus 10 is 14. Same thing down here. 4 plus 3 is 7, and 7 plus 7 is also 14. So these are equal expressions. We don't even have to solve them to know, but we could just to check. All right, number 2, I've got 12 times 6 times 8, and I've had my 12 times 6 is in parentheses. So same thing, I'm going to keep my numbers in the same order, but I can change the groups. So instead of putting 12 and 6 in parentheses, I can put 6 and 8. We don't have to solve it to check, but we could, and we would get the same thing on both of them. So these are equivalent expressions using the associative property. All right, commutative property. Commute is another important word. It sounds like commutative. Basically, what commuting is to move, to drive. When I went to college, I lived at home and I commuted to school is what they call it. So basically, I lived at home and I drove to school every day. So commute means to move. And basically, all the commutative property is the numbers, the order of the numbers can change as long as the expression is addition or multiplication. The reason this won't work with subtraction, I know 2 plus 3 and 3 plus 2 give me the same thing. That is the commutative property. But I can't do that with subtraction because 2 minus 3 is negative 1 and 3 minus 2 is 1. And remember, our properties are for equivalent expressions. These two answers right here are not equivalent. So just to show you a little bit further, some examples. The commutative property, I'm going to change the order of the numbers. So 3 plus 9, I could easily just change that to 9 plus 3. We wouldn't even have to solve it. We should already know that those are going to give me the same answer. Number 2, I have 7 times 21 times 4. Well, I could change that up. It doesn't matter how I change it. I could do 21 times 7 times 4. I could also do 4 times 21 times 7. It doesn't matter. They're all going to give me the same answer. All I'm doing is changing the order around. The last one, same thing. I have 2 plus 4 plus 6. I could do 4 plus 2 plus 6. I could do 2 plus 6 plus 4, and there's several other ones I could do. But basically the commutative property is you're moving the numbers around. In the associative property, you're moving the groups and you're not moving the numbers.